Okay. Uh, Let me go back a little bit. I was listening to what I was talking about just a little bit ago, and as I was reading, I was looking. Okay. Let me see. Um, Champion possum dog, about half hound and half fox. I think. Fawcett or Facet, Fosset, Fawcett. The grown boys stole him out to hunt uh with hunt with. So he had to keep him on a chain at almost all the time in the kennel on a high wire, strong a strong high wire. He was too big, thus that's why his name was Rock. Okay, and log cabin. Okay, I'll get now. We're gonna lived in a log cabin years before I saw a mill, a sawmill. Before a sawmill had come through and cut a lot of the lumber down, where and there were a few plank houses at the time. Uh, that the cabin was built. It was quick to build of logs and or uh, it had a chimney, a brick chimney, and lumber would have bun had to be hauled. Okay, the lumber had to be hauled about 20 miles over the dirt roads, and that's what she's saying. Okay, now we get back to where I was in the story. Give me a second. Okay, storm. So Dad dug a storm cellar and filled the well to with 5 feet of cellar floor, covered it with old planks. One day the dogs went with Dad to his trap and they found the skunk. Okay, and they killed it and brought it and laid it and hid it in the house. And a little kitten we owned tried to eat the fur, so Dad had to put it in top of the log cabin barn, the log barn. But when he got it down to ship it, because he was apparently Grandpa Cletus was a fur shipper. And she says the tail was missing one day, and uh, and then it was missing. One day, my dad was out furrying around in the edge of the woods, and uh, I'm not sure what she means by this. It's I really hate to say this word, but it says dick bandles, as they could back then. A dick band, a dick bands, as they were called back then. I saw, so I got some dick mandrels, dick band. Okay, and I saw, so and I got some. Okay, oh, it must be candy. Mother and set fire to the dry grass around, and set fire to dry grass around the storm cellar. Oh, Grandma Tiny set fire to the dry grass around the storm cellar. Mother came out of the house and saw the fire and put it out and asked for the mather. Sometime later, we went to Shiloh. I think that's Shiloh prison. Shiloh. Says Shiloh. We got up before daylight. May have stayed at her grandpa. I don't remember anyway. They pushed the T model down, first down the hill and crank it about the time the sun came up. Oh, they had a Model T. Apparently that's what she had, is a Model T. Okay. And that was the second page. So, bear with me. All this is, it's phonetic, and I can read her writing because I read her book, but you have to say it out loud so that you can hear it better. Okay, now we're on page 3, and it says, we went by to pick up a aunt and an uncle, 2 kids. We woke them up. They came to the road without trackfoot and pulling on their clothes without a blanket. Something else? Without a blanket and pulling on their clothes. Grandpa had been sick for many weeks, so he was not not going. He didn't think he had enough breakfast, so he ate everything he could get out of their lunch boxes. Okay, so I don't know which grandpa this is. It just says grandpa. And aunt and uncle with 2 kids, and grandpa didn't think he'd been sick, and you gotta think this is the time of the flu. Maybe a little, she didn't say how old she was, so I'm figuring she'd probably be 4 or so. And so he was nauseous, and he didn't think he had enough breakfast, so he ate everything he could get out of their lunch boxes. So when we got to Shiloh, yes, it says Shiloh, there was no food to eat at lunch. When we went to the river, a ferry boat at the landing, a T-model car blew its horn. Okay, so whenever they got to the river in Shiloh, huh? Shiloh's up in Tennessee. Okay, so okay, and the T-model car blew its horn. Okay, we got off the ferry because Mother was afraid to cross the river. Oh, so Grandma Tiny didn't like crossing water either. There was not a clan on the river there. There was not a dam. Okay. Okay. At Shiloh, apparently there wasn't a dam at the river. There, and it was late summer, so the river was low. It didn't back up the graveyard. It didn't back up to the graveyard. Oh, the river would get up to the graveyard. Grandpa and the man in the next farm had a falling out about the landline. So Grandpa backed up 4 feet and built a fence. While they were at work, I went to where they were and ran away. The flood was not at the home. The door was, that's what it says. She ran away. The fold was not at the home. The door was not locked, just pulled to. So I pushed it open and went in, sat on a chair until the mother and the little girl came back. I had heard my mother calling, but I wanted her, this is a funny word, her, so the lady answered her and told her where I was. We went to one of my aunt's uncles. No, went to one of my uncles. Okay, what I'm reading does not have any punctuation, so, and it's grammarly correct, but okay, let me get back to the story. We went walking. As we went, she told us about Uncle killing a dog that was trying to kill some hogs. He cut it, bought it, taught, he cut it, he cut the dog and, taught, okay, I'm gonna read this, over there in the branches. I will always remember it was red in color years later. Always. Okay. This is really confusing. And I'm getting down to a minute. Let me see what else I can read. That was, and this is the fourth page of the story. And that's where it was a branch, branches. I will always remember it was red in color years later. And I'm going to stop here for a second. You are listening to Laura's blog. This is a story my grandma wrote. My grandma Eveline had only a 3rd grade education. She knew how to write in cursive, so everything is not spelled, when I'm reading it, it's not spelled correct, and it does sound like a 3rd grader. And we'll see you in a bit.